Hi, church. Welcome to today's digital devotion. So, we did an impromptu Ask Me Anything sermon on Sunday because our guest preacher canceled at the last minute due to the fires. And there were so many great questions. We had such a good time just riffing and answering them as we always do. And so, we wanted to cover a few more in this devotion and maybe some upcoming devotions because there's just too many to get through in the time that we allot in worship. So, today's question we're going to tackle is, how do you nourish your faith on a regular/daily basis that helps you to keep doing the work that you do? That is a great question. I think compassion fatigue is real for anyone who works in any industry or any field that requires a lot of soul work, a lot of spiritual outpouring. And so for me personally, a practice that I took on a couple of years ago that's been really impactful is a gratitude journal. So just at the end of the day, the one I use was given to me in a preaching group that Jacob and I are a part of. And so it's sort of organized for reflecting on the day with a couple of prompts. And then it overall just ends on like the gratitude of the day. And for me, that's just really great to kind of unpack each day. What went really well today? What was something that could have gone better? And then what am I really grateful for? And just recentering myself at the end of each day and kind of releasing anything that was heavy that I had to hold that day, or, difficult things that I was witness to or had difficult conversations. Just sort of releasing all of that in the form of a journal has been really spiritually beneficial for me personally.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think for me, what has been really helpful spiritually is reorienting my concept of prayer. And so long ago, coming to the understanding that prayer is not just a moment where we're carving out time to close our eyes and bow our head and fold our hands after or before a meal or before we go to bed, like there's a prayer time, but instead kind of channeling what the Apostle Paul says, where he says, pray without ceasing, and understanding that we can live a posture of prayer throughout our entire day, that we are inside our heads just kind of having a constant dialogue with God. What are we feeling? Is this making us upset? Do we wish things were different? Is this something really wonderful that we want to give some gratitude for? Are we worried about something? Are we scared about something? And just having that constant dialogue in our heads that I think of as communing with the divine, that my entire day is just this constant prayer, a way to center myself, which is I'm just thinking my thoughts in my head to God all day, and I consider that a form of prayer. So that's been really spiritually meaningful for me.
Yeah. I would say also for me, physical activity is really important. That release of adrenaline, and I like to go on walks with friends, especially the Botanic Gardens here are such a gift to the community. What a beautiful space, and an easy way to get outdoors and be in nature. Just conversations with friends I think are really helpful, just connecting with others who care about you and being able to unload and vent. Do you have any other practices?
Yeah, I think something else that I try to do on a daily basis, especially at the end of the day, is just reminding myself that my worth is not found in what I produce that day, and to just say, like, it is okay to take a few minutes at the end of the day where you're not accomplishing something. Like sit down, take a deep breath, read a little bit for pleasure.
Reading is great for the soul, yeah.
And just tell yourself, it is okay that I'm not getting something done right now. It is okay that I'm not checking something off my to-do list right now. And sort of that permission giving that your value or your worth is more than what you produce, I think is really important. Some of the classic Sunday school answers to like daily faith practices would be, scripture reading. I don't know how many folks are opening up their old Bibles at home and sitting down and digging into a couple chapters. If you do, that's awesome. If not, maybe we talked about go-to Bible verses. Maybe there's a Bible verse that you can kind of just have saved on your phone. That's a good little reminder for yourself at the end of the day to just, read through that little verse. Yeah. If you're a podcast person, do a little Google search for progressive Christian podcasts, and maybe you can find one that speaks to you, that you enjoy.
Yeah.
But I know.
I've never,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I've never been a sit with my morning coffee and read scripture alone person. That just hasn't ever worked for me. I get lost in my own thoughts. So, but what has been good in different chapters of my life are group Bible studies, which is a great plug for you on Sunday mornings.
Definitely.
Your Bible
Come
study.
join us,
Yeah.
9 a.m. Bible study.
With Pastor
It's a lot
Jacob.
of fun. I know there's a lot of folks that out there. We talk to a lot of people that are, nature people. Just like stepping outside on your front porch and taking a deep breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Is
Also, I think just volunteering has a
Oh
totally
my gosh.
different, it recenters you when you give of your time and energy for a cause that is important to you. Anytime we volunteer, it's completely separate from like the work we do here at the church, and it just feels like it just fills up your soul in a different way. So that's always a good thing.
And there's always so many volunteer opportunities through church programming, but we have so many incredible mission partners too that if you show up at one of their events and volunteer, they'll always love to have you. I think that's so true. And a good way to just say thanks again for everyone who's been volunteering and helping out and doing what they can. We continue to reiterate that if there's anything you need in the devastation of these fires, let us know. We've been fielding some emails all day today, just some asks for housing and requests to help. And so keep doing it if there's something that you need. And thank you everyone for your continued prayers.
Right.
We'll see you on Sunday
See
for
you
worship.
on Sunday.